Hello and welcome back to Joe's Knows NFL episode 12. Today we're going to be going over those NFL trade deadline moves, big headlines there coming from the trade deadline, and then our week 9 picks. This week 9 slate, I think we can all agree, is probably the best we're going to have all year. So we're dedicating a whole episode, not rapid fire, to going over this slate. We are here with Matt Freeman, Bobby Christensen, Dom Rufina, Richie Zangara, and me, Jack Hemler. We previously recorded our halfway point award predictions and player predictions. If you want to watch that, we got into a lot of stuff there, but for the trade deadline, Commanders traded Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Chase Young went to the Niners. Sweat went to the Bears. Matt, if you want to talk on that, like what the Commanders are really thinking there, I can't really tell.
And neither can I. I mean, this was an absolutely, unbelievable move. Chase Young, he hasn't been the number 2 overall pick that they were hoping. I mean, obviously the injury concerns have been tough. He's been top 5, I believe, number 5 or number 6 in pressures this year. He's finally healthy. They used a number 2 overall pick on him. He's a complete difference maker on the defensive side of the ball. And to just throw him away for anything less than a first-round pick, to me, seems absolutely outrageous. I'm not really sure what they were doing there. And then Montez Sweat, another guy that's a complete stud, and to get virtually nothing back for 2 elite edge rushers that you could build your defense around, that to me just makes really no sense whatsoever. So I don't really know what they were thinking. What I do know is that the 49ers might have one of the best defensive rosters I've ever seen ever. This front 7 is absolutely scary. The secondary is getting the job done. But, I mean, you're looking at Hargrave, Bosa, Chase Young. I could go on. It's really ridiculous. So the 49ers obviously beefed up the defense, and I really don't know what the Commanders were doing.
Yeah, some crazy stuff going out of those Washington headquarters. But moving on to Joshua Dobbs of the Vikings. We talked about it in our last episode, but we did not have the Viking superfan with us. Dom, if you want to talk about Josh Dobbs going to the Minnesota Vikings.
I love this move. A great move by the Vikings. Love Josh Dobbs. He's doing pretty well in Arizona with the horrible team that he had. The only thing is, there's pretty much no one that can replace Kirk. I mean, this is a guy like MVP caliber player playing amazing. If he had a little bit of a better record, we're putting him in the conversation 100%. But he's not just that. He's one of the best locker room guys in the league. That's pretty much the best locker room guy in the league. People on the team they look up to him. He's just an amazing guy. But I think Josh Dobbs is gonna fill his spot pretty well. I mean, you're coming from the Cardinals to the Vikings, so many more weapons. Jefferson's coming back in a week or two. I mean, the defense is playing well. If they keep it up, I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. They have a fairly easy schedule coming up, so I'm very confident in this team.
Yeah, I just want to disclaim that Kirk Cousins is not a god or anything very high, but he is one of those players that are amazing for the Vikings. But we're going to move on to Leonard Williams going to the Seahawks. Giants got a really good trade in that one, Bobby.
I got no idea what the Seahawks were doing here. A second-round pick and a fifth-round pick for 2025, I believe. For a guy that's regressing every single year, 2020 was his best year. He had 10 sacks, my fault, 11 and a half sacks, and he's just he divided that by 2. He had 6.5, then he had 2.5, and he so far has only 1.5 sacks. Although his pressures are high this year, which will immensely help that Seahawks team, who has a lot of a very good front 7, as Matt said. A second-round pick, and going back to the Commanders trade, a 30-year-old as Leonard Williams compared to I'm pretty sure 23-year-old Chase Young. I mean, I would look at this as a steal for the Giants. I mean, they're getting a second-round pick, a very high-value draft pick for a guy that is going to be expensive next year, and they couldn't handle that. They're going to go back into a rebuild. They're going to have to restart. But this is a very good move from the Giants and Joe Shaden tribe. But yeah, I mean, I'll grade this almost an A+ for the Giants and probably like a B or so for the Seahawks.
Yeah, and those are the top headlines coming from the trade deadline. Wasn't as good as past years, but still a solid NFL trade deadline. We're going to be moving on to our game picks for week 9. Just quickly get into our win percentages. Matt bolstered up to 70% I mean, that's one of the craziest percentages I've seen. Great job from Matt there. And me and Dom at 60%. Richie and Will's not here today, but 57%. Bobby at a cool 55, and Guac still staying below 50% with a 48. But we're gonna be moving on to a very solid game here. The Thursday night football. Will Levis's Titans, who just had an amazing start, throwing for 4 touchdowns, going to Pittsburgh versus those 4-3 Steelers.
Yeah, so I'm just going to kick it off, and I'm going to make Dom happy here. I'm going to take the Steelers at home. I love the Will Levis story. I would really love for him to kind of blossom into this sleeper guy. You know, that draft night, very tough for him. He slid way far down, but I'm going to take the Steelers here. They play very well at home. They play very good defense, and Will Levis hasn't really seen a full game of a defense as tough as the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Titans here. Obviously Dom's not gonna be happy with that, but last week what I saw is obviously other teams are gonna get Phil on him. It's gonna be different. You see quarterbacks sometimes have a really good first week. That's just because they have nothing on him. But Will Levis brought more than just maybe a more versatile QB when it comes to running and being able to move out of the pocket unlike Tannehill, but they got DeAndre Hopkins. They have Derrick Henry. That team can, if they get a spark, like if Will Levis brings a spark to that team, which it may not happen, but I think, after what I saw last week, you never know. And I think that the Titans are going to take this one. Although the Steelers have a good defense, good pass rush, like they play good at home. Obviously, it's prime time. Anything happens on prime time. But, I'm just going to have some fun here, take the Titans.
Yeah, we all already know who I'm gonna take here, but Minka is out. That's a tough one. But Cam Hayward is coming back off of IR. I think that will help the run defense tremendously. And I think if we just find our groove, this Tennessee Titans secondary is not good at all, and George Pickens is an awesome wide receiver. So
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think we're definitely gonna get this one done.
Yeah, as much as I want to see Will Levis have another phenomenal game, I don't see it happening in Pittsburgh prime time. Obviously, the Pittsburgh defense has been very good all year. Obviously, I think that if they can stop Derrick Henry, they're gonna have a good shot at winning this game, like 17-13. So yeah, I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah, one thing I don't like coming out of the Titans after that big win was Ohio State legend Mike Vrabel, their head coach, kind of saying that if Tannehill is fully healthy, he's going to be playing over Levis, and that gives Will Levis no confidence, especially coming from a Mike Vrabel coach. Will Levis actually adds a threat of a passing game, which then helps the run game for the Titans, which makes them a very good team, which they have been in years past. Tannehill has been horrible and has added no pass game to them. But when they have all dimensions working, the Titans are actually a very solid team. But I'm going to be taking the Steelers here at home prime time. I don't see Mike Tomlin losing this game. The 6-2 Dolphins at the 6-2 Chiefs. I mean, this game, a lot of people are saying this is what is up for grabs for the number one spot in the AFC.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs here, and this is without any hesitation. Jack has touched on it in previous episodes. The Dolphins have played really nobody. They have no great wins all year. So what they've been doing has been phenomenal, no doubt about it. But they're playing the Super Bowl champions, the defending world champions with Patrick Mahomes. They're locked and loaded, ready to go. I just don't see the Dolphins beating the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are a vastly better team. So I'm just going to keep it straightforward. I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah, going off what Matt said, Dolphins have had a very weak schedule when it comes to wins. And the Chiefs just have shown year in and year out that they could just beat the best of the best in big games. This game's obviously playing in Germany, so who knows if anything happens that way. But I'm gonna take the Chiefs here. But I saw a clip after the Broncos game of Chris Jones and Travis Kelce walking to the locker room after the game was over. Didn't even go shake hands. I think it's more of a revenge game. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the Dolphins, but I think the Chiefs kind of getting dominated by the Broncos. It doesn't sit well with some of those players, especially Travis Kelce, because he doesn't like to lose. And I see a big game out of Kelce and Mahomes coming this week. And obviously Mahomes got a little bit away from Kelsey last week. And obviously you saw what happened when that happened. They didn't really dominate on offense as much. And he's kind of went to Juju Watson, a lot of other players. But, this week I think it's going to be more of a blowout. I think the Chiefs defense is really good. And I think they may lock down this Dolphins offense a little bit and contain Tyreek.
You both have really good points, but I'm just too much of a Dolphins guy to not go with the Dolphins here. I think this is the game where everybody's calling them frauds. I think this is the game where they explode. I think this is the game where they show everybody the Super Bowl contenders that they are. I think Tyreek's coming into this pretty angry. Yeah, I know from things that he said in the past that he's not a big fan of the Chiefs anymore. I just love this team all around, and I think they're going to do great.
Yeah, before I jump in really quick, do we know if Taylor Swift is going to be at this game?
In Germany, it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Dolphins here. Obviously, their offense has been very good. Chiefs coming off a pretty embarrassing loss. I think they'll come back, and it's going to be obviously it's going to be a great game. I do think that Tyreek Hill is going to get contained, but it's going to allow guys like Raheem Mostert and Jalen Waddle to kind of step up a little bit more. And I think that offense is too much, even for a good Chiefs defense to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it in the past. I do not like this Dolphins team. I've disliked them basically throughout the whole year, this Dolphins team. And I'm going to be taking the Chiefs here. I can't tell you the last time I saw the Chiefs lose 2 games in a row. And that is mostly my main reason. It's just Patrick Mahomes, he had one of his worst games in last couple of years against the Broncos. And yes, he had the flu that is confirmed. So he was playing through that. And it's just, you don't see the Chiefs losing 2 games in a row. And Andy Reid, this is a great coaching matchup as well. Andy Reid versus Mike McDaniel. I love Mike McDaniel, but Andy Reid comes out on top in these ones. I had the Chiefs winning that one. Then 4-4 Vikings, no Kirk Cousins that we just touched upon, and the 4-4 Falcons.
Yeah, so in this one, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. I love this story. I think Kirk, although losing him is really tough, he's still a leader. He's still a captain. I mean, you saw even sitting on the cart with his career, honestly, hanging in the balance, not knowing if he is ever going to really play again. He was still rooting on his team. And like Dom said previously, he's such a great locker room guy. So I think that the Vikings are really going to rally around Kirk. And Josh Dobbs is a great locker room guy to slide in there and take his spot. So I think the Vikings are going to get the job done.
Yeah, I'm with Matt here. I think this season's more about winning for Kirk than anything. And I think the Vikings are going to use that as fuel to keep this kind of going. Obviously, they beat the Niners in prime time. But, the Falcons are just such an inconsistent team. And seeing Heineke getting the start, you don't know how he's going to come into this offense and succeed. Maybe he does do better than what Ritter did so far this year through 8 games. But, the Vikings are going to I think the Vikings are going to keep going. It's going to be a season for Kirk.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you guys more. I love the Vikings here. I actually don't think Josh Dobbs is I don't think Josh Dobbs is starting. I think Jaron Hill is starting.
Yeah, Jaron Hill.
But I was sitting in class the other day, and I was really bored.
You're talking with me in Latin.
And so I scrolling on YouTube and I type in some Jaron Hill highlights. So I'm watching this. I'm like, I have confidence in this guy. I think this guy, Josh Dobbs or not, I think with Jaron Hill, they can still get this done. They can still make the playoffs with him too. I love this team there, and I think they'll definitely do it. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it short. I'm also going to go with the gut of the Vikings winning. Even with the backup quarterback, I still think that, and Justin Jefferson being out for a couple more weeks, I don't like this Falcons team at all. I think that, the Vikings are going to have to use the fuel of playing this for Kirk. So, I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, and Taylor Heineke might be one of my favorite players in the NFL, just the way he's been playing throughout his career. It's just Arthur Smith is going to hold him back. I already know it. He's one of the worst coaches in the league, in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to use Taylor Heineke correctly. And I'm going to use Dom's anecdote with the Jaron Hill thing, and I'm going to take the Vikings away here. And this matchup is probably one of my favorite. Shout out to Matt. This one makes my jaw go up and down. I got we got the 5-2 Seahawks at the 6-2 Ravens.
Yeah, this is a really tough one for me. Both of these teams I've been on almost every single week throughout this year. I'm going to have to go with the home team, and I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. I touched on it in our previous midway through the year episode. I need Lamar Jackson to win the MVP. I think he will win the MVP. So I'm going to take Lamar. He's going to have a statement game in a very tight one at home against the Seahawks.
Going off of what you just said, Matt, about the MVP, if you want to win the MVP, you got to win these types of games. You got home field advantage. You're playing a team who just made a trade for a guy that's going to help him immensely on defense, getting to the quarterback. They have a lot of confidence, Seahawks, but, I'm going to take the Ravens here. I think Lamar has played way too good to go away from him, especially at home. And like I just said, if he wants to win the MVP, which I have him for the MVP, and like I said in the previous video too, you got to win these games. And I think he will get the job done here at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take the Seahawks here. I'm not a big fan of Lamar throwing the ball. He's been doing very great this year. Don't get me wrong. He's passing the ball great, minimal turnovers. But I think this is where it comes to an end. I think Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen and this possibly top 5 defense will shut down Lamar and they'll win this game.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to take the Ravens. Obviously, 2 very hot teams right now. I really just think that Baltimore has the better defense as of late, and I think that's what's going to win them this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the Seahawks here. I just really love this team. I've been talking with Matt about it a while. This Seahawks team I really think is going to win the division, maybe even the NFC. This team is at their peak since their Super Bowl form back in 2014. But moving on to the 1-7 Cardinals at the 4-3 Browns, it should be an easy one.
Yeah, I'm going to make it short and sweet. The Arizona Cardinals really have no one left, so I'm going to take the Browns at home.
Cardinals are tanking. Obviously, you see that Dobbs trade. I'll give me the Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
Yeah, Clayton Tune starting for the Cardinals. I'll be taking the Browns as well. Then 2 teams in desperate need of a win, 3-5 Rams at the 2-5 Packers.
Yeah, so in this one, I'm going to actually take the Green Bay Packers. The Packers front office has went out and said that the future of Jordan Love is hanging in the balance over the rest of this season. So I think he's going to step up to the plate, and I think he's going to hit a homer. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's going to get the job done. I think he's going to save his job, and he'll be the long-term solution for the Packers at quarterback.
Yeah, home field advantage at Lambeau. Like Matt just said, the front office has clearly stated that his job is nowhere near safe for the future. And as a quarterback who's already had 7 games under his belt, this will be his 8th game. Obviously, they had their bye. I'm pretty sure they're fully healthy this game. Their offense, Christian Watson should play, Dobbs should play, Aaron Jones should be in the lineup. This should be a game that Jordan Love should go in and want to win by 2-3 touchdowns at home and really prove himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Packers as well. Matt Stafford, I believe, is not playing. That's a big one. I'd never really heard of John Wolford and never really seen him play, so don't really have a lot of faith in him at all. So I'm gonna take the Packers.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Packers here.
Yeah, I think the Packers need a win very bad. A lot of pressure on Jordan Love, but I think he'll prevail and get the win at home. The 3-4 Buccaneers going to the 3-4 Houston Texans.
I'm going to take the Texans here. CJ Stroud's going to stay hot, and this Buccaneers team has been ice cold as of late.
Give me the Bucs.
I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah, give me the Texans at home.
I'll split it up. I'll take the Bucs in a weird one right there. And then we're moving on to the 3-5 Washington Commanders selling off some of their team recently to the 2-6 New England Patriots.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with the Commanders here. Sam Howell's coming off of a fantastic performance, and the Patriots have really been struggling as of late. So I'll take the Commanders on the road.
Yeah, I'll keep this quick. Give me the Commanders here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders too. Patriots lost Kendrick Bourne, probably their best receiver. Yeah, give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Commanders here.
Yeah, I don't know what this Kendrick Bourne love is coming out of
Because he's on Dom's fantasy team, dude. That's it. That's
yeah. I always
he's
hear
having
this
a
in school.
decent
I don't
year.
know-
He's
I
their
don't know
best
where this
receiver.
Kendrick
Yeah,
Bourne love is.
he's having a good year. Honestly, I'll give it to him. You look up the stats. I don't have him up right now, but I mean, he is having a really good year. Obviously, nothing crazy, but
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna hurt them where they're dead written. But I'm gonna be taking the Commanders here. Like Matt said, I like what Howell did last game. And moving on to the 2-6 Bears, going to the 4-4 New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints in this one pretty easily. The Bears really have no one at quarterback. Might as well bring Jay Cutler out to start. So I'm going to rock with the Saints pretty easy.
Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to blow them out.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Saints.
Yeah, hopefully Chris Olave doesn't get abused this game. I'll be taking the Saints here. Moving on to the 3-5 Colts, going to the 1-6 Panthers.
Again, I think this is a tough game to pick, but the Colts have just been playing really good football. They've been fighting with really any team they're matched up with, and the Panthers, I don't really know what their game plan is. Bryce Young hasn't really looked very good whatsoever. He might be the fourth best quarterback in the draft, which is unbelievable for a quarterback that was taken number one. So I'm going to take the Colts.
Yeah. Give me Minshew Mania.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts here, even after the Panthers got their first win. Moving on to the 2-6 Giants after their worst performance, going to the 3-5 Las Vegas Raiders after selling off their GM and their head coach, Josh McDaniels.
I think McDaniels was the biggest problem in Las Vegas. Devontae Adams is going to get the ball a little bit more. Banks were open last Sunday. Garrett Wilson put on an incredible performance for a team that really couldn't hit a pass for their life in the first 3 quarters and 10 minutes of that ball game. So I'm going to go with the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I want to pick the Giants so bad, but I just can't. It's so bad. I mean, the last week was just absolutely atrocious. Barkley ran the ball 36 times. I mean, they kind of just wanted to win that game 10-7. Did not work out, obviously. So, yeah, give me the Raiders here.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. Give me the Raiders.
Yep, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking the Raiders here as well. And then we're finally on to some good games after that bad stretch right there. The 5-2 Cowboys at the 7-1 Eagles.
This is such a difficult game to pick. I think these teams, they were pretty even before the trade deadline or before the last couple of weeks, but the Eagles have had a couple of those additions to push them over the edge. The game is being played in Philly. I think Hurts will get the job done. I think the Eagles will get the job done. So I'll take the Eagles at home.
I hate the Cowboys with everything, but they need this game so bad. And I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to make this division really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles. This has been the most consistent football team in the league so far this year, and I think they're gonna stay that way, and they're gonna take this one.
Yeah, as much as I want the Cowboys to win, I just don't see it happening. Obviously in Lincoln, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking the Cowboys here. I've voiced my dislike to this Eagles team. Jalen Hurts, especially against that Jets team, did not look good, and I don't expect them to do good against a Cowboys secondary that's improving. Not since the Trayvon Diggs injury. They were really bad to start off after it, but since the first couple games, they have looked really good, that secondary. So I'm going to be taking them to win that one. Next one is a very, very good game. Sunday Night Football, 5-3 Bills going to the 4-3 Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I think this is where Joe Burrow really makes a statement that he's back and the Bengals are back in the Super Bowl picture. So I'm going to take the Bengals, especially at home.
Bengals, I think Burrow and them are back. It's a big win last week against the Niners defense. Their offense is starting to explode a little bit, and I think they're going to keep it going, get to 5-3 and get on the road.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals as well. I'm just not a big fan of Josh Allen. I mean, we've seen him play horrible and we've seen him play great. Who knows what he'll be, but I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take the Bengals. They've obviously been very good lately, and I mean, I wouldn't say the Bills are ice cold, but they're definitely on the decline right now. So yeah, I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, Joe Burrow being my MVP pick, I have to back it up here. I also do think the Bengals are going to win this game. 3-game winning streak. I expect them to extend it against Buffalo. Moving on to Monday Night Football, last game of the week. 3-4 LA Chargers going to MetLife, playing the 4-3 Jets.
I think this is a huge statement victory, a huge statement game for Zach Wilson. I'm going to take the Jets here, and I think this is where Zach Wilson's going to break out and become a bit of a mediocre quarterback where the Jets can start to put up some points with these great weapons out wide.
Yeah, this is a tough game because the Chargers show their times, especially Herbert. But I mean, it depends how well this offense does against this Jets defense. But I think this Jets defense is going to keep him in the game, and I think Zach Wilson's going to do just good enough to get them the win here.
Yeah, I'm actually take the Jets as well. I think as long as they get Garrett Wilson going against this horrible secondary, I think they can easily win this game.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Jets. I would like to see Zach Wilson throw the ball downfield a little bit more as well. Just to kind of note, he's been throwing a lot of checkdowns lately, and I think that he can really take some shots against his Chargers defense.
Yeah, the 2 primetime games before this, the Jets have played. Zach Wilson looked amazing. The Bills game and the Chiefs game. So I think he's going to have a good game, especially against this Chargers defense. Garrett Wilson also the big game. I'm going to be taking the Jets to improve to 5-3, but that'll do it for us for Joe's Knows NFL episode 12, going through our game picks and trade deadline headlines. But so for Matt Freeman, Bobby Christensen, Dom Rafina, Rich Sankar, and me, Jack Hamler, thanks for watching.